What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sith Council. No Rise of Skywalker rewatch today because we thought we were getting a lot more from Disney Plus that we did today, but nonetheless, we're going to cover the stuff that we saw from Obi Wan, some of the Boba Fett stuff. We haven't really got in depth on the Boba Fett trailer or the Obi Wan behind the scenes and what we could see. So myself and Mike Kalinowski are going to be talking about those two particular things, getting into a conversation about when we think we're actually going to see the Obi Wan trailer, because everybody, myself included, convinced we were going to see a trailer today. There was no Andor trailer today, no behind the scenes for Andor. There was no mention of Acolyte or anything as far as the casting. So very curious in regards to how Star Wars was handled today on Disney Plus. So we're going to talk about that. It's myself and Mike Kalinowski. So join us, if you please.
I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sith Council. It is going to be an interesting show, nonetheless. And joining me, we covered the Investor Day last year. This was not the Investor Day, but he and I did, and that would be the Inner Geekdom champion of the world, Mike Kalinowski, is here.
Sir.
You and I were talking about it, how last year we had all these announcements and these big drops. And,
huge day.
Yeah, and we knew, though, going into the difference was with last year was that covered film, that covered everything, right?
Yeah.
This just covered Disney Plus, and I did a whole video on it today. I thought the way that the stuff, first of all, to cover everything that Disney did in general, the stuff that they dropped, great. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of new shows. There's a lot of things that if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, you don't go, oh, this is what I pay for. You go, this is what I pay for.
Right.
It was in the manner of how they did it, with tweets and no presentation. So bizarre.
I don't know what it was. Like, I think Adam Havoc last night was tweeting out, and he's kind of in the world too. And he's like, anyone know what we're doing tomorrow? Anyone know what's happening? How it's happening? Is there like a website? Is it tweets? We didn't know.
No.
And that was 12 o'clock last night.
It was bizarre. Like, you had to, were you checking it out on Disney Plus? Like, because some people say to watch it on Disney Plus. And it's like, when I woke up this morning, I saw the Shang-Chi had dropped, which is great. I'm going to watch that a little later. Jungle Cruise, I watched with my daughter. And then they started dropping all this stuff, which was fantastic. But there was so much mention of what was going to happen in the Star Wars, because they said, and they didn't, and this is what I said also in my video, it's like, am I disappointed? Yeah. Did they promise us something? No, they never promised you were getting anything in Star Wars. We assumed as fans. And then when you look at the Marvel presentation of what they did, they do this whole big video. And because I saw a comment that came out, I was like, well, what do you expect? Boba Fett's coming out. That's really the only thing they have. Yeah, but Marvel's got all this stuff that's coming out.
Tons of stuff.
She-Hulk down the line. There's at least footage.
Obi-Wan's done filming. I think Andor's wrapped.
Too. There was no mention of Andor. There was no mention of any of this stuff, which was bizarre to me, not because of like, hey, you guys should be showing stuff now, but it's like, this is where it's going to live. It's going to live on Disney
That's
Plus.
the thing. And someone made a comment, they're like, well, maybe they're being, gun shy with their marketing because of the past year and a half. It's like, yeah, but
it's done. It's shot.
Well, regardless of COVID, this stuff is dropping on the app, on the thing. There is no, we have to push our movie and we're going to promote this movie. Yeah, they weren't talking that. Like, they've got tons of TV.
And it was weird because the other day this Obi Wan thing dropped, right?
Or was it leaked? Was leaked, right?
Someone leaked it. It leaked. So I think what was bizarre was that so if you go to that's the Book of Boba Fett. We'll get to that in a second. But the first thing is this. Where the hell is it? Here's
Pictures?
one thing. Yeah, here's one picture. Just the art that they show. There's this Vader sitting around doing having. There was that, which I love, and then there's this one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the main one,
which is great.
It's great.
Great.
It's this all art that came out, but apparently they showed this to the investors last year. This particular thing.
That same thing.
That's the rumor.
Okay.
And then who knows? Maybe the rumor is wrong because maybe someone said this is what they're going to show, and it dropped, and whoever goofed and dropped it, and then they released the same thing.
Yeah.
There's some great nuggets in here.
Sure.
There's no doubt. But like you said, they finished filming, right? So this is...
I don't know. And I'll say this. Watching it, the effortless charm of Ewan McGregor.
Great.
The way he talks.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, man, that's why fans love him. That's why we're so excited to see him. And it's like, and the Deborah Chow, with the way she hints at, they do the Anakin reveal, and she, doesn't call him Anakin, calls him Vader, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a smart thing, and maybe they don't even think about it. He is just Vader to them.
Do you know what I love, though? This picture was great.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden with the...
Is that Hayden?
Yeah, it's Hayden. Looks like Hayden to me.
Where?
Isn't that Hayden?
In the red?
Or is that Ewan?
That's Ewan.
Oh, all right. I thought it was Hayden.
See it, like, if you move in moving. But it's, that you could tell was done during COVID because the masks.
You're right.
But I think it's Ewan.
Let's see. Hold on.
But neither here nor there.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, nevertheless, still great.
And either way, it's like, so there's going to be, there's so much that we're going to get here in general, right?
Right.
With this series. So what you do get is you get Deborah Chow.
But we don't have a release date yet still, do we? Like an official date.
No. That's why I'm so shocked.
We couldn't do that?
Dude, I'm so
You couldn't give that to us today?
They gave you, that's why Marvel consistently is the best as far as like how to market their stuff.
That's what I tweeted out today. I was just like, now that Feige's with them, have him do the reveals. That guy is a showman.
Disney and Lucasfilm,
he knows what to do.
I thought DC fandom was really good. Everyone was giving it crap.
I don't know what people were giving crap for.
I thought it was great. I thought
the way they got it done, condensed it to 4 hours.
It was a Comic-Con. I thought it was great.
I think the thing people were pissed about that was because they talked about animation and comics.
Right, but it's a Comic-Con.
It's
like
fandom.
when you walk into a room, that's what you're not going to just get all the stuff that you want. It's everything inside.
We're at the movies.
I thought it was great. I thought it was hands down better than what we got with this.
Yeah.
This was just tweets. And the content alone was really good, but like you said, there's no release dates.
Nothing.
Which is bizarre because you got so many release dates. You got release dates for like Miss Marvel and all these other stuff that was coming out. And it's like no release dates, no mention of Andor at all. No mention of Acolyte, which people thought was going to be at least be casting or something.
Yeah.
Willow pops up out of nowhere, which I'm actually excited for Willow.
Willow, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. But there was but even that was like, oh, here's a casting video. Warwick Davis was hilarious, and I like him a lot, and that video was great. But that's like something you would see at Star Wars Celebration or whatever it might be. But it just drops. Here's your cast, but no footage, nothing, or even a mention of when it comes out.
I saw someone tweet out that they said Celebration's coming up. When's that?
It's not until like April, dude.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
Like April.
I thought, I just was reading the tweets on the car right here, and someone was like, well, so we got Celebration coming up. I'm like, oh, that's smart.
But that's April.
Like, that's ridiculous. That's over 6 months
probably
away.
be, the series will either be out or close to out. They'll have a panel.
Now, whatever happened to D23?
D23 is every 2 years, but I guess it got thrown out. It got thrown out of whack. Remember,
I can't do that.
Yeah, but it got thrown out of whack.
So this was it. This was the big. Hey, we could do
D23 very well could be this year, but it's usually in October.
So
it's both these series.
I always thought it was around Comic-Con.
But there's no mention of Mandalorian when that was coming back. Like they had such an opportunity to mention like all of this stuff.
And again,
so weird.
That could be on us for expecting it.
Well, it's not. But look. Like I said,
but if you're promoting your streaming service,
that's more so what I'm talking about. It's not a matter of me. Am I bummed about it? Yeah. But is it a matter of like, oh, you didn't give the fans what we wanted? No, we're gonna get it eventually. The trailer's gonna drop soon. We'll get a trailer of something. I just don't understand the strategy. Like I don't get the strategy.
What? Okay. What just dropped? Oh, the Lightyear thing.
The Lightyear.
But it was random. Like
right. But that's a feature film. That's not Disney
right.
Plus.
But still, it was just
Boba Fett was random.
Yeah, they were just those two projects randomly dropped.
If you have nothing, if you know that you're not going to have anything Star Wars related, why in the world do you drop that Boba Fett trailer? Drop it now. Drop it today.
Yeah,
like because that's the series that's coming out,
and that's what
that's coming
December,
out at the end of December.
It's Christmas Day.
Yeah, but it's
something.
like when if it's one thing because the way that it makes it seem, and clearly it wasn't the case. What it makes it seem is okay. So we know we got some stuff we're going to show on Disney Plus. So let's drop the Boba Fett trailer today, and then we're really going to hit him when we do our presentation.
Yeah,
but that's not what happened. He said, well, we dropped our big trailer of our series that we do have coming up, and then we've got this behind the scenes featurette that leaks anyway. So that was a bummer. Nothing on Acolyte, nothing on Andor, nothing on. I mean, Bad Batch 2 just kind of showed up at the end in like a screenshot. It's bizarre. No new animation. Weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know if Filoni's not that kind of guy that handles that kind of stuff. Like Feige kind of does it all. Produces it, but also knows how to sell it.
And I don't want to pile on. This is a Kennedy.
It's a Kennedy thing. Okay.
This is a Kennedy thing.
Yeah, because she was at not fandom, but the Investor Day. She was the big kind of.
Yeah, well,
wasn't she there last year?
Yeah, but
I think
this is Lucasfilm, man.
You think this is a Chapek thing?
I'm sure it combined too. He's not doing the best of jobs.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's gone soon. I think he's going to be out.
He hasn't been making the best decisions. So him plus, but be honest, even when Uncle Bob was in there, it still wasn't great. Like their announcements and the way they made announcements, and even the stuff that they still do. We even talked about the Patty Jenkins thing, right?
Yeah.
Even that they've done that so many times. Guess who's directing? Just kidding. Guess who's doing this?
Yeah.
Guess what's happening?
What was it? Someone was like, I forgot. It was a really great one.
Like, you buy that scheduling thing. Come on.
With the Patty Jenkins?
Yeah. Why do you?
When did that drop? Did it drop after your guys' Last Jedi and today? Or
within the last week.
Okay.
It dropped. Yeah.
And then it was in that.
Yeah. We'll talk. Let's try to focus it in all so that way I can time code this thing out. Let's stick with the Obi Wan first.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So the positive side of that was that the story in general. This is the most hyped, most anticipated show ever.
Yeah. It's like I said. Whether you love or hate the prequels, love or hate them, you can't argue that he's not the golden nugget in that entire thing. And I think for him, watching him talk, like he just loves the role so much. He's so into it. He loves the world. He buys everything he's selling, like acting wise in it. Like he's never a fake moment.
He's excited to do this too. You know that he's wanted to do it for a while.
I know, but for me, it's a difference between me and like Tom Holland. There are people that worship at the Tom Holland altar. Like I don't buy his whole like I'm just dancing. I let stuff slip, and I'm an actor. Like, and now he's like I'm gonna usher in and mentor the new Spider-Man when he comes through, and I'm just like. I kind of feel for him what a lot of people felt for Jennifer Lawrence. They're like, all right, I'm over you. Okay, the whole, but like,
you don't think it's authentic?
No.
Okay.
Ewan McGregor,
authentic.
He just sits there, and I watch that 1 minute, and I'm like, I get goosebumps. I'm like, pumped. Jesus, God,
he's
I
wanted
just
to
buy
play
everything you say right now.
Yeah, and he's wanted to play Obi Wan for a long time, and he was, like you said, he was the shining light of that series for sure. And I don't think he ever really got to dig deep into the character of Obi Wan. Right? He got to do whatever he could.
He was always kind of, I don't want to say second fiddle.
No, but it's
not in a bad way.
It's the material he was given. He was never able to dive deep. And I've been singing this song that people don't want to hear anymore. That with television, you just get so much more time to dive deep, and you're going to see even with this photo, man. Like the main photo that we have on, like that's like the concept art, and you see him like how he's just kind of withered down on Tatooine. You know he's getting off the planet.
I love that they said that his main thing is protecting Luke.
Yeah,
and then I think it's Deborah Chow's like, but there's other stuff.
There's other stuff. He's gonna get off the planet. He's gonna wind up going somewhere else. Whether we'll see what happens. Other people are gonna show up, Inquisitors and that type of thing, which is exciting. But then they bring in and they talk about
because you can't. It's the elephant in the room.
You got to. And I have so many like conflicting things because I did the reaction to the
video.
Yeah, to that video. Yeah. And most people, because I've been screaming about this Vader joining for years, since Jedi Council. And a lot of people are on, it seems like it's the right thing to do. Then there are people who don't think that, they think it contradicts the original New Hope and other things. And I push back against that completely. And I think that there's ways inside of the script that you can maneuver that around
so too.
Very easily. But then to have Hayden back, I'm curious because someone asked, and there's been no mention of James Earl Jones coming back, right? And if it's the Vader suit, you can't have Hayden doing it. You got to have somebody else doing the voice, flashback, all of that.
But are you just bringing Hayden back to not have him in this, like to just have the helmet on him?
He's got to have flashback scenes. There's got to be flashback scenes.
Or is the helmet off?
The whole time?
No, I don't think that.
Like a scene or two? I mean, so you
I want to be with you. I want flashbacks. I want them in their prime. De-age them both a little bit.
Style. Show me some Clone Wars stuff.
Man.
Because
see that business on Kid and Nemoidia that they talk about in Revenge of the Sith.
That's one of the things too. But plus the fact when if you watch the Clone Wars animated series, you get more of a feel of who the Anakin was that Obi-Wan was talking about.
The great pilot
and a good friend.
Yeah,
I feel that if you can add to that in flashbacks.
Yeah.
So if you have a scene, imagine hell. You and I have talked about how a couple scenes here and there, you could do a full episode that it's just a flashback thing of the two of them doing something together, and it leads back to him finally getting, because you got to have that, it's going to be that clash. So he's back, what's going to happen. So them not dropping any as far as a full trailer goes, because if this thing didn't get leaked and this is all they showed, I think people would be bummed that's all they showed, but they'd still be getting more hype. But this thing hit the day before, so it's a bit of a bummer for them. But either way, this series it's right around the corner. The question is, because everyone thought Andor was going to come first.
Right.
They're pushing the marketing on this now.
But they announced Andor was later.
I don't think so.
Was it? But I thought
really
end of 2022. I think that was the. Didn't it happen this week? They said.
Did they say it this week? I didn't see that.
I thought when they moved Miss Marvel and Andor to end of 22 because Miss Marvel was supposed to be.
Miss Marvel is summer now next year.
Yeah, it was supposed to be spring or late winter.
Yeah,
and now they're saying Marvel's got a big gap in their thing because of that. And I think Andor got pushed. Or they not maybe pushed, but just announced end of 2022.
I'm gonna look that up.
I thought.
I didn't hear that. I did hear about that one though. So let me see. I'm gonna see.
I think it was right around this both same time, but I could be wrong.
It would explain a lot though. Let's see, Yeah, you're right. So it says Miss Marvel and Star Wars Andor get 22 release windows, but it was supposed to get 2022.
Right,
Andor.
but I think we just assumed maybe
this
earlier.
This just happened.
Yeah, I think within the past couple days.
No, this just got posted. Oh, yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday. So
yeah.
Let me see. It doesn't say anything as far as Andor goes, but it did say Miss Marvel. Andor has always been planned for some time in 2022, so the Rogue One prequel appears to be on track. No, it hasn't been moved.
Okay, then no, it didn't.
But we still don't have a date. Yeah, it was just still in the same press release.
I think we were just talking like, okay, Obi-Wan, we got Book of Boba, Obi Wan, something in the middle, Andor.
Yeah, so I think that what's going to happen.
But we don't know.
But that's Andor, with all of this information now, where we didn't know if we knew Boba was coming first. We didn't know if it was going to be Obi-Wan or Andor first. This marketing so far seems to suggest that Obi-Wan's coming first.
Yeah.
So Boba Fett will wrap up, and this is all speculation. Boba Fett wraps up sometime in January, February.
And we don't know how many episodes, right? Or is it 6? 6?
I think they said 6 to 9.
I think it was 6.
6 I think 9. I think Obi-Wan is 6. So 9 for Boba Fett. So so we're looking at February, right? So I don't think
the earliest.
So I don't think we get Obi-Wan until after Celebration in April. So
you think that's going to be a big reveal then?
I think you're going to get a final trailer or something. It won't be the first trailer. It'll be the final trailer.
You think we're going to get a trailer before then?
Yes, because the same way you get Boba Fett a trailer. Whether or not you get that trailer in next year, which will be a bummer at this point. But nonetheless, you get April is when that comes out. Then I think late summer you get Andor, or maybe even fall, and then you don't get Mandalorian until December or January like you're doing with Boba Fett.
Okay.
That's a guess.
Okay.
But it seems to make sense.
Mando has always dropped end of the year, right?
Like November, December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had 2 years of that.
January,
This year we're going to get Boba.
Yeah.
And then Mando the final. Yeah, okay.
But
again, would have helped if we got some info today on it. Just something.
Not something.
And I don't get it because at this point we're not in COVID, whereas in our schedules are on flux.
Right.
Like what happened with Winter Soldier and WandaVision. Right. Like they're filming, they know the COVID protocols.
They have everything.
They know what they're doing. So why are they?
It just seems
hedging
to be
their bets and not letting
no release
know.
dates, nothing. Like it's weird. It's this constant thing that has happened with Lucasfilm for years.
With
the films.
People were tweeting out to us this morning. They're like, Lucasfilm just doesn't have their release. They don't know what they're doing with it.
They've never had with movies. I remember when they were about to announce Obi-Wan the movie.
Yeah.
The day big things coming tomorrow, and then it was just silent.
Nothing. D23 announcement thing.
I don't know if it was D23 or where it was, but it was supposed to be this big, and then they probably just had that. No, let's hold off on that, which is I think the right move.
Right.
But stop saying you're going to do stuff, or have the plan is so out of whack.
It's so weird. Like Marvel is able to adapt. Things change with them.
Right.
They announced Inhumans as a movie.
Right.
Didn't happen, but they just can. They shrug it off and keep going. It's weird. They know how to do it by announcing dates or whatever, and things shift. Like someone posted their original Phase 4. We'd be at Love and Thunder right now. Okay. If there was no COVID, the way 2020,
from the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah, so it's the only project that's still not out is the Multiverse and then Love and Thunder, which would have been November and December or something.
Right.
And it shifted. Everything shifted, but we're still now on track.
Because they had an overall plan. I think I will say though, it's not their television stuff is not in, as far as story and linking up, is not in disarray the way that the new trilogy was, right? The new trilogy we've agreed that there's a plan as far as the television story, so what they're going to make. Whether it's Ahsoka and now Hayden coming back for that and doing stuff with Acolyte, the plan is there.
Yeah.
So that I'm not, as a fan, I'm not worried about that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's I just don't understand why they don't know when this stuff is coming out. Like we know when these other things are coming out, but for Obi-Wan, it seems, and I'm happy with the fact that that's going to be the one you probably get after Boba Fett. So
I would think.
If I'm going to guess, then I would say you probably, and I won't be surprised if I'm wrong, but I think because of all the hype, I think we do get a trailer for Obi Wan at the end of the year.
Okay.
You think so? Or you
I don't know.
No?
I'm of a mind. I'm still stuck in this where we got to release things Christmas time, Thanksgiving, summer.
Right.
Like
that's when people are home watching stuff.
Like I got to get out of that mindset. It's where we live in a different world now, where we can drop a show in end of January and it's still a hit, a thing that people got to tune into. Yeah. That's on me.
But what about trailer wise though? Trailer wise for this?
Always the holidays.
That's what you would assume.
You assume it's kind of a get like,
right?
But
it's different because it's
TV. Hey, we're dropping 2 episodes of Hawkeye. Thanksgiving. Start your holidays off.
Right.
It just fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me.
But either way, we're both. But the thing we did see, what we both can agree with, whether we have release dates or not, we both are very optimistic about Obi-Wan, especially with the stuff that we saw.
There's no doubt. Knowing what they're doing, knowing that they've got the volume technology and what they've already done over 2 seasons on Mando, like the track record's there. It's going to be great.
Well, all right. So shifting on now, and then you get Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So the Boba Fett trailer came out.
Yep.
Like a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, week and a half, whatever the hell it was. And this is like this one for me really did it for me because when Boba Fett came out in general, when Josh Trank and all that was coming, I was like, I mean, I don't need to. I like Josh Trank, but I don't need to see a movie.
Yeah.
And then when Disney bought Lucasfilm, was like, oh, Boba Fett's gonna get a movie, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I don't.
What's the point?
What's the point? You don't even know if he survived the Sarlacc. Flash forward to Mandalorian season 1.
Yeah.
And those boots show up, and you hear the spurs, and you're like, is it him?
Yeah.
How did he survive? Then you start asking questions. It's all about setup.
Yeah.
And it's all about caring.
I was almost like, wow, with Mando, I don't need a Boba Fett thing because it's getting me my Mando film.
Right.
I was like, anything that I thought I would have wanted, like that opening fight scene in the bar, getting the guy cut in the door and using the grapple gun.
That's what you thought of Boba in the first place.
Okay, cool. So it's going to be Mando now. And I'm like, my Boba Fett fill is done. But then story, and it happens, and they bring it on over season 2. More. You're like, now I want to see what the hell happened to this guy.
You care again, and the setup and the pairing with Fennec, is
a great pairing.
It's a great pairing, and then even with the stuff that they do with her in Bad Batch, that the way that they ended in Mando season 2, when they had that scene where he comes in, and he kills Bib Fortuna and knocks him off the throne, and he's just sitting there with that music, and she swigs the bottle, and you're like, all right, what now? What is in the Book of Boba Fett? You're like, well, what's that?
Right.
Like that's a great setup. That's great. Like that's what I mean when it comes to the creative side of what they got going on. They've put it back in. They've got a plan.
You want that, creative. Like we just said. You want that, like, oh, what's that story? Instead of like,
really?
What is this going to be?
Right. Like they don't even know. They just put up.
You want that.
It didn't seem in the past. It would have seemed like, let's put Boba on the throne, sit him on the throne, and then she drinks the bottle, and then we'll we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
That did not feel like that. That felt like this is set up for something big. Yeah. And this trailer proves exactly that, in my opinion. I think that when you see the two of them together, and some people have been complaining, well, why has he got his helmet off so much? First of all, he's not that kind of Mandalorian. He's not even a Mandalorian.
No.
So he could be running around without the helmet the whole time. He's gone through a lot in his life since the time of Jedi.
I didn't notice until someone pointed out. They're like, his face looks a lot better than it did in Mando. And someone was like, well, I don't think the actor wants to sit in 3 hours of makeup for just those kind of like.
Yeah, it's true.
His face is all kind of pruny.
Yeah, it's true. He's not as ripped up in this one.
Yeah, so I was like, that's just he doesn't want to sit in the makeup chair for 3 hours.
I can forgive it.
It doesn't matter.
Plus the fact they have science in Star Wars that can fix his face if he needs it. Plus he's running.
Stick him in a tank.
He's running the family now. And that's what I really loved about this trailer. This trailer is a gangster story.
You like Sopranos Star Wars style.
It's a gangster story.
Hey,
you can tell like him sitting on the throne.
That's a gangster.
No one ever said that this guy is a good guy.
No.
He never even he's got a code.
Right.
And that's why he winds up helping Mando in general.
That's the best things about these characters, like Mando, his whole first season, because he's got a code. Not a good guy. He's got a code.
Yeah. He's more of a good guy though than Boba is.
He's
got a
proved it.
Din's got a heart.
Yeah.
This dude, not that he doesn't have a heart, but he's not. He's Jango Fett.
He's ruthless. Like
he's Jango Fett.
I think they kind of, the more they showed of him in the originals film when they added him and talking to the girl and Boba. It's like it took away the mystique of that guy that just came in there and just like that one nod to Bausch, like that. It was mysterious. Oh man!
So did you
volumes?
That was the one thing they dropped on Disney Plus this morning was that Boba Fett doc. Did you get a chance to see it?
I have not.
So I watched it. It was the first thing I watched. I woke up at 6 a.m. thinking there was going to be all this stuff, and I basically had just twiddling my thumbs for about 2 and a half. By
yourself here.
That was it. But the doc,
I'm gonna watch it.
The doc's great. It's like 20 minutes, and it just shows the history of it. And there are some things you might know, and I didn't know. He was originally built out. They built that costume in like 78 or whatever it was, and they built it as an elite stormtrooper
because it was all white at the time. That was the original concept.
And they brought him out as like and George wanted to make him. These were going to be the elite stormtroopers.
Okay.
But then it turned out that budget-wise, they just Empire they couldn't do that many of them. Yeah. So George's like, just keep him, but make him a bounty hunter. And he made him a bounty hunter, and they painted him up, and that's exactly what they did, and they changed him up. And then his first appearance though was not just a holiday special; it was at a fair in like San Francisco, not a carnival, a parade.
Okay.
So they brought the original Vader costume out, and Vader's walking around, but then they pair him next to Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And nobody knows who he is, but people are running around asking him for his autograph and anything too.
It's Star Wars at that time.
Star Wars, but it was also because he looked really cool.
Yeah.
And the idea of it,
great suit.
They were putting it together, and they showed how Jeremy Bulloch got involved and what he did, and then obviously the evolution to then what happened with Tamora Morrison and leading up until have we today. Filoni's in there talking about him and talking about, and goes back into that point that we've talked about to exhaustion of the stuff that inspired Star Wars, whether it's the spaghetti westerns and why he would have spurs and why he's the gunslinger.
He's got the poncho. That's Clint Eastwood poncho, like from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and stuff.
So the other thing that they released,
classic western.
Yeah, and the other thing that they released, by the way, for where is this thing? The Boba heading. This is pretty great. This is I think now.
It's just kind of like, that's going to be on the app.
That's going to be on the app when it comes out. So that'll be. Let's take that off for a second. That's what it looks like. The Book of Boba Fett. For people who are listening, you can, if you want to check out the YouTube link, you can check it out. And speaking of listening, by the way, everybody, if you didn't know already, you guys could check out our show on podcast form. Please do that. You can go to the Sith Council. And there it is. Sith Council, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. And we're going to finish up our rewatch series with The Rise of Skywalker next week. So please go ahead and check that out. Let me see, Mike, is there anything else as far as Boba Fett goes, right?
As far as Boba Fett?
Yeah, I mean, because we got looks like 6 to 9 episodes. I think there was 9 is what people are saying. But like the gangster feel.
I think we did now just seeing what we're going to get. I don't think we're doing flashbacks with him. I remember that was the thought we weren't sure. We were speculating.
I didn't until I saw this thing today.
Okay.
Because they mentioned or
the special.
Yeah, it was the special. I believe it was the special because I think it's. I'm pretty sure it was Ming-Na who says. The story of him and how he got out of the Sarlacc pit is a story all in itself. And just bringing that up and putting that in there, I wouldn't be surprised if we visited, and I think they'll address it. I think they'll address it somehow, like how
that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the thing on the fans' mind. Like, okay, how did he get out?
How did he get out? I'm curious if this show is a one-off because we know Obi Wan's a one-off. It's just basically a 6-hour movie. Somebody said, "Oh, I'm bummed you only get one season of this." I'm like, look at it like a 6-hour movie, right?
Yeah, I don't think you'd want more.
Yeah, I mean, Boba Fett could go after seeing this trailer.
Yeah,
I don't know if Boba Fett just stops at one season because this gangster thing that they're doing.
I can see this continuing more than I would see Mando continuing.
I don't know. Mando's got a lot of from the rumors that are going on with Mando is that Mando's got to jump in time, and that I think it's called the Mandalorian. I think Mando's going to wind up taking over as the king of Mandalore.
Okay, I could be wrong.
And I think there's going to be they can do it more once you get to and really start to.
But
Ahsoka
went
planet.
off on her show.
Yeah,
what's Bo-Katan doing? Is she staying on Mando? And that's going to
sticking on.
So that's going to continue all that.
Yeah, she's got. I mean, look, the show is called The Mandalorian.
Right.
Never says it's called Din Djarin, right? It's the Mandalorian. I mean, so it could be any one of the Mandalorians.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I think that people want to see more of Katie Sackhoff anyway. Yeah. So, she sticks around in Mandalorian if I was to guess. But speaking of Mandalorian, no mention of that show whatsoever. It's the show that jump-started all this and got people
everything,
and it reconnected the fan base.
Yeah,
it reconnected,
brought them back.
It got more. I mean, So I even saw when we were doing, I don't know what I was reacting to. I think it was either, because there's a couple different stories, right? There's that story that Deborah Chow might be directing Kevin Feige's thing that we shouldn't talk about in a second.
Right, yeah.
But I would get more excited about the prospects of Star Wars news now than I did. And like there was a point, I didn't even want to talk, when Rise of Skywalker came out, I didn't do a spoiler review. It was because I didn't want, because everybody was just so skeptical and it was nasty and it's like it wasn't fun to talk about Star Wars. So I'm like, I'm not doing it. Right. And people were like, well, it's nice to see that you're excited about doing it again. And I was like, that's because I think that everybody is a little bit more pumped about it. You still see people who want to be skeptics, and that's fine. They're always going to say, well, it's the Disney era. I was like, and I always write back, you didn't like Mando? Like, Mando to me is the most Star Wars we've gotten since Jedi.
It's Disney era.
It's Disney era. So it's like, you can't just blame, you got to be able to, the stuff that you don't like, and look, you watch Last Jedi, you'll see I'm probably on your side on that one. But like, I'm not going to say, well, because of one movie I don't like or one trilogy that I don't like, they can't fix it. They did. Yeah. Like you can connect the same way you connect Rogue One to Episode 4. You can connect after Return of the Jedi. I believe that's where the galaxy went. It's starting to, it's not hunky dory. There's bounty hunters running wild. There's all this stuff going on. There's smugglers. There's the Empire still in scatters, like trying to like take over 5 years later. It's like it would make sense that Empire was huge. Yeah. So I think that series to not be announced also is a head scratcher. Acolyte, head scratcher. Andor, head scratcher.
The Andor, Acolyte, I'm not so.
No casting though? You got casting with Willow, but not Acolyte?
Yeah, I don't have answers.
It's a head scratcher. That's what I'm saying.
I thought Obi Wan, Andor, those two things, we're going to get a lot of stuff on them, but
I know
we didn't.
No, we didn't. It's just a matter of like I don't know how they're going to play it out or what they're going to say. I mean, because that's where the majority of news is going to come out. Because you and I were talking about how when once we hit like December, we thought it was just going to be boom, 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 boom. And it still might be that. Right. December hits. We're going to have so much to talk about. And for people who don't know, we're going to be doing the Sith Council episodes. Every episode will just be spoiler heavy. And we're changing Sith Council the day, and we're going to do Wednesdays because that's when it drops. All right. It drops on Wednesdays. So I don't want to wait until Friday because it'll be old news by then. So when it comes out on Wednesday, we're going to drop our spoiler reviews. We'll have watched it in the morning.
So, Tuesday night then it comes out?
Tuesday night, midnight. And then, I'll probably watch it first thing in the morning or whatever. And then we'll get right into it and we'll drop the review Wednesdays. That means that Big Thing's going to be moving. So once January 1st hits, Big Thing will be Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And Sith Council will be on Wednesday because we want to catch up to Boba Fett. Now, it could jump back after Boba Fett's done. Again, it all depends on what happens. Maybe Obi Wan starts coming out on Wednesdays. Because I think they're not going to cross over. Because I assume the reason that they're doing that also is because Hawkeye's going to still be going. Right? Because Hawkeye...
no, I think Hawkeye... I think they did it because Hawkeye's 6.
Is it only 6 episodes?
I think that's why they put 2 on Thanksgiving to make sure it doesn't cross with Boba.
But it comes out Friday, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it come out Fridays?
I think it's Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday nights.
Is it?
I think they switched their Marvel stuff to Tuesday nights too. So I think they did it like, hey, Hawkeye ends, Book of Boba's next week. Right. I think that's probably why they put the 2 episodes together.
All right. So before we get into some more of this stuff, I wanted to talk to you guys. Very happy that HEADSPACE is back. Love HEADSPACE. And if your thoughts are running around in endless circles in your mind, I see we're good. With the stress of everything that's happened this last year and a half, it's more important than ever to practice living healthier and happier lives. What if a few minutes was all it took to change your relationship with stress and anxiety? It could transform your life for the better, and that is the power of meditation with HEADSPACE. Our thoughts can be confusing enough. Meditation, it doesn't have to be. What's great about HEADSPACE is it's convenient, and you get a convenient dose of meditation and mindfulness and sleep exercises to relieve stress and anxiety and help you get a good night's sleep all in one app, making it easy to catch your breath and make time for your mental health. And it's one of the most science-backed meditation apps in the world, proving meditation, it works. So Steph, even if she's not here, she would be screaming to the heavens about it. She loves it. It's been very helpful. And Mike hasn't used it yet, but he needs to, and I'll tell you why. Because I can see Mike sometimes. He's struggling with stress. He's got to calm his anxiety down, and he can do that by falling asleep. But I can tell Mike that I recently found HEADSPACE, and it's very fun to just learn meditation in general. So what you need to do is you give it a try. Check out the guided meditation. It's something special, and it's good for kids too. Try it. It's wonderful, wasn't it? Here's what you do with Headspace. You find some Headspace at headspace.com/Sith, S-I-T-H, and get 1 month free. 1 month free of their entire meditation library. That is the best Headspace offer available. So go to headspace.com/Sith today. That's headspace.com/Sith. Gonna try that meditation, man. You got a big match coming up.
You aren't kidding me. I need something.
You got to try it.
I need something, dude.
Get it. 1 month free.
Are you kidding me with my anger?
I know. Well, look, you don't need it. You don't need it anymore. You'd be able to. And look.
I need it.
And you need it. You got a big match coming up December 4th at the Spectacular.
Oh my God!
So
back at Spectacular, man.
Back at Spectacular. You haven't been there since.
And the last time I was, worst match of my life.
Well, you got to redeem yourself, and you can play in
not worst match of my life, but
it's one of them.
Pretty close.
Robert the Spider Parker, kid's good.
It's great. Kid's great.
This is let's see the time this comes out. No, I can't say all the matches yet. But I can say this because I did say in the match that dropped today.
Yeah.
I did say that Roka will have a match. I haven't decided who yet.
You get the poll up there.
Yeah.
4 different options.
It's interesting. But Roka's going to get a match.
And so what is it? So this is his last ride, the Outlaws.
Last match. So people heard that and people are buying up tickets. We don't have many left
What if he wins? What does that mean? He just goes out on a high note?
That's what he
said. And if he loses, he goes out on a low note?
You know him better than I do. Well, we're probably the same. So who knows?
I don't know.
But I assume, look, he's tired. He's been in this thing since season 2.
Yeah.
So
was it 2014?
The second season was 2015.
15, because I came in 16.
Yeah. So schmodownlive.com, get your tickets. It's December 4th, downtown LA. There's not many tickets left. So if you've never been to a Schmodown, if you're brand new to the show and you're like, what is it? The Star Wars Championship is on the line.
And there's the Expo before, right?
Yep.
Doing Expo.
Nikki DiMolanta. The Expo is all sold out, though. Nikki DiMolanta and Thomas Harper, 2 Star Wars experts. Don't know what Schmodown is? Get there. Schmodownlive.com. Be there for this one. If you're anywhere near the Los Angeles area, you should come check it out.
Yeah.
What else going on? I mean, what do we want to talk about before?
Well, you want Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins.
Okay. So
right. Patty Jenkins, Chloe Zhao. Let's start with Patty Jenkins.
Okay.
So here's this announcement that Patty Jenkins is leaving Star Wars.
No.
Not leaving Star Wars.
Postponed.
Postponed.
It's being moved.
I say that because that's how I read it.
Okay, so we're either of 2 different minds, or I'm naive, perhaps.
Okay, let's talk about how do you feel? You tell me about how you feel.
I think I don't. You tell what you feel.
No, I just asked you.
Okay, I don't know, because I know these things take time. I know you got to get a story right. You don't want to be filming with a script you don't like.
Right. Patty
Jenkins is a very script-driven director.
Yeah.
Like she's always hands-on.
Do you buy this scheduling thing though?
Okay, so let's put this in there.
Yeah.
Then. There was I hate this. I hate this because if you look at what she did with Wonder Woman, become iconic. That movie is up there with people talk about Superman the movie.
Ending's a little ish, but the movie itself's pretty.
I don't see the ending with the issue, but I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. Great movie though.
And then 84 comes out.
Yeah.
And if you saw all the hype, her talking about 84 and her love of the 84 and her what she loved, and
she wrote that one. She didn't write the first one.
Right. And she got a chance to she was so sick of having to move it. She's like, this is gonna be in a theater, and you need to see it in our love story. These characters and how much we loved Chris Pine and her in the first one, and they're coming back. And I was like, oh, okay, they clearly have a story they love that they wouldn't mess what they did. Did not do well with the fans.
Right.
Well,
did well with you.
I love the movie.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the movie.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's...
You got the campiness that it was.
I got the campiness, but I also got the fact that it was a sequel that went 180 degrees from the first one. It didn't go, we're going to take what worked in the first one and just up it to an 11.
Yeah.
It's the Temple of Doom for me.
Okay.
Like, Temple of Doom, people hate that movie. I love Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. We also saw it at a different time.
180 degrees from Raiders.
Yes. And then even from the third one.
Oh, yeah. So, there's that.
Yeah.
I think she's earned the will with the film she's done. Like, people are like, oh, they're going to take her off Star Wars. They're taking her off it. That movie bombed. They're taking her off. Which we've seen happen. Like, who's it?
Trevorrow.
Trevorrow taking off Star Wars. But there's a history of this taking directors off.
Lord and Miller, they didn't like what they were doing. Lord and Miller. Gareth Edwards got pulled off.
Right.
I mean, it continuously keeps happening.
So that's where I get people are saying that. Yeah. I don't want to believe that. They announced Wonder Woman 3 the week after 84 dropped.
Right.
And that's going. So I think that's more of a thing right now where she's got to get that film out.
But here's this is why some people have written that exact thing.
Yeah.
My answer to that, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins is a very smart woman.
Right.
If she knows that Wonder Woman 3 is even a possibility.
Right.
And it's going to conflict with this 2022 thing that they're going to, or 2023 when they're trying to get Star Wars out.
Yeah.
You don't sign on.
But remember she talked about how the story with her father was a pilot.
I know.
That's the story
That's why I don't believe this, because I think that I think that they were planning to do this 2023. What I think happened was the same thing that's happened a million times over. Mm-hmm. There's creative differences as far as what Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy wanted, what Patty Jenkins wants to do.
Yeah.
They conflicted and said, "Oh, this isn't working out." Well, I have Wonder Woman, so what we could say is that I'm just moving on because it's been harder. It's going to be harder for me to do this because they want to get this movie out. They wanted to get a movie out in this time frame, and she doesn't want to rush it. And she and it's also like there's other things I got to work on. There's other things, and we're not on the same page here.
Yeah.
If we're not on the same page, and this isn't just speculation. Rumors are. I mean, the rumors are part of the speculation, but this isn't just me like guessing. Yeah. This is also stuff that has been behind the scenes of like, well, they're just not on the same page, and they really wanted to get this out. The other rumors now ties into this,
right?
Is the Chloe Zhao and Kevin Feige thing, right? So there was rumors the day before this announcement with Patty Jenkins, rumors that the High Republic or Old Republic was going to get him. So we don't know which one. It's either High Republic, Old Republic, or both, right? Rumor is that Kevin Feige's movie is the High Republic. Who better than to set up this and Chloe Zhao?
Yeah.
I don't know where you stand on the Eternals. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
I'm sorry, what?
I love it.
Really?
Yes. You're not allowed to whoop me after Wonder Woman 84.
Hey, I say this. Love what you love.
Right.
I love the swings at the fences they made. I love the fact that they shot on location.
To me, it's just the most unique.
The fact that they're not in Atlanta in a field.
Right.
I don't know why they have to make everything gray. I don't get that.
It's just the most unique. It was one of the most unique.
It just
Marvel
didn't
movies.
land with me.
That's fine. Because it's epic, though. It's an epic. You know what it is? More science. You know what it is? You're. I mean, obviously you like science fiction and science fiction fantasy, but you gravitate more towards the comic book lore and stuff too.
Like perfect example. I just finished finally Loki.
Yeah.
And binged it in 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't get the love of that thing.
Okay. See, like that,
but
and that's
Hawkeye,
one of my favorites.
I cannot wait.
Right. And that's what it is, because you gravitate towards that kind of stuff, the comic book stuff. I gravitate towards the science fiction stuff. And to me, that's the most science fiction, like epic, like sword and sandals kind of thing.
I don't think it's a bad movie at all.
No, it just
didn't land for me.
So I think we both agree that she's a phenomenal director.
I think, and I say this, the visuals, the scope.
That's why it works.
Fantastic.
And I think it works. Like, people also talk about Denis Villeneuve, which I love Dune. Loved Dune. And
I haven't seen it yet.
I love Dune. And I actually don't think he'd be great for Star Wars. I don't think he'd want to do Star Wars.
His scene from his other films, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Zhao, yeah.
I think that for me, after seeing what Zhao did in the Marvel sphere, and hearing her she wants to do Star Wars.
What you said, I think you tweeted it. I would have rather seen Eternals as a Disney Plus.
Yeah. I
with
pretty
every
much,
character getting his own love.
The fans will tweet in that's Kristian saying for everything. Although I think Dune to me is a better movie, even though I know it's going to be a series. But this story that was told, I like that as movie. Spider-Man, I think I would rather see in the movies than
not a TV show.
TV.
No, Spider-Man's a movie.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a movie. There's movies that I don't feel like everything should be TV.
No.
There's certain ones that I do.
Yeah.
But I think I do want to see an Old Republic television show.
Yeah.
But if she does, whether it's High Republic or Old Republic, if she's the one that kickstarts that whole thing with Kevin Feige, which is still very interesting because Kevin Feige is just producing it. So they're basically saying, hey, Kevin, just produce. So what are they doing? Kathleen Kennedy just bowing out for this one? That's because it's like they said Kevin Feige's doing, no one really talks about this.
Right.
Like Kevin Feige's getting his own Star Wars movie. But like, so what? They just hired him as like an independent producer to just host, just to do it. Fine.
I don't know.
Is he like, because people had rumored for a while that they wanted him to take over for the job, but he didn't want the job and all that. So he produces this one Star Wars movie, and he takes Chloe Zhao and he takes the writer of Loki, is what they're doing is for this movie, and it's the High Republic, and they set this thing up, and then they can kickstart it into a television show. Sure. That's a way to do it, and I'd be okay with it starting out as a. But whether it's High Republic or Old Republic. Yeah, but Chloe Zhao, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, watching Eternals, I'm like,
Yeah, but that's why I think that the Patty Jenkins thing, I think Rogue Squadron
is done.
from the rumors are that it's off the slate for a while.
Whenever I hate the term when they say indefinitely.
Yeah.
Delayed indefinitely, because when you read it, it means we just don't have a date for it. But that term indefinitely means like, oh, it's gone.
It means it's in development. It's in development, and it could come back at any time. And whether any time is like, 6 months or 7 years.
When
or
they say that,
years.
that's like Spielberg's Black Hawks in DC. We're never seeing that film.
Dude,
never.
Rian Johnson's trilogy.
It ain't happening. That ain't happening.
People are like, yeah, we're gonna see it. See, haters, it's gonna happen. Where is it?
Yeah,
they announced it. They announced it during the last. There's been no rumors. There's been no talk about it. The guy's doing Knives Out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
They like Ava DuVernay's New Gods. Done. They said it's done.
Over.
Yeah.
Right.
But so
she said it.
Yeah. So certain properties they never give that definitive.
Right.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
It's different though with Ava and Rian Johnson, because I think that if Rian Johnson came out and said,
"Yeah,
we're not doing it anymore. It's over." The PR looks bad because it looks like, oh, the Last Jedi stuff. With Ava DuVernay, it's like didn't work out. Doing other stuff.
Yeah.
She got bigger fish to fry anyway.
What happened with the Game of Thrones guys and their Star Wars? Is that gone?
There's another one that fell apart, right?
But if they announced
that? No, they announced that it fell apart.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, that was done. That whole thing, that was supposed to from what I heard, that was about, dude. That's and they left it alone. Wait. It was supposed to be about the formation of the Sith and the Jedi.
Dude, you and I'll never forget this. We were at the old Collider studio.
Yeah.
And I had tweeted out something about Game of Thrones. It's like, can't wait for everyone to turn on Game of Thrones. And you're like, you're out of your damn mind.
No
People
chance.
love it.
I didn't say they wouldn't turn on. I saw everybody turn
on.
No,
we were talking about, like, you came at me funny about it, and I was just like, I go, just watch. The fans are going to turn on this show so fast. This is before the final season aired. And you guys, everyone was gung-ho about it. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I didn't know.
Okay.
To see the fandom on that Game of Thrones.
Oh, they turned on those guys.
Oh, my God. Now, do you think, though, because they're announced the Star Wars, then that all happens, and like, yeah, we're not going to work with these guys.
I don't know.
It's so weird.
It's weird because it happened with Patty Jenkins, and you mentioned Book of Henry for Colin Trevorrow. So it certainly plays. You can understand why people would make the correlation between the two, but I don't necessarily know if it always runs into it. But again, rumors. The reason that I heard that Benioff and Weiss walked away was the same reason that I'm hearing about Patty Jenkins. Creative differences, not working together with Kathleen Kennedy and moving on. God, and I don't know how true it is, but it seems to be a continuous thing that keeps happening and happening in the film division.
Now, do you think then where there's smoke, there's fire with the Kennedy situation? I'm like, where are they? Because there's no doubt Wonder Woman 84 didn't work for many, many, many people. But you can't doubt that Patty Jenkins is not a great filmmaker.
No, I think she needs to go. I think if this is the case, let's take it two ways. Let's take it the first way is, let's say it is the case that she's getting involved in all the creative stuff and the Gareth Edwards, even J.J. Abrams on Force Awakens, I heard was a problem at one point. Yeah, and then they had to get J.J. back. The only one that didn't have a problem and was never an issue was Rian Johnson,
right? Because he was doing his own thing.
He was doing his own thing, but she was okay with his own thing, because Lord and Miller were trying to do their own thing, and she was not having it, and so Lord and Miller were gone. Trevorrow was gone. Obi Wan had, even the series, there was certain issues, but for the most part, the Obi Wan the movie, and then the TV, she has done what a fantastic producer does. In television, she, like, when you look at the conversations she has with Filoni and Favreau and the way that she talks, when she's sitting there and you listen to the conversation she has, it's like you're listening to two different people in her approach to film and her approach to television. Because in her approach to television, you're like, that's the producer that did E.T., that's the producer that did all this stuff, that knows. And then when it's the film stuff, it's like she's more involved in the creative than I think she needs to be. And not because of anything like, you shouldn't be making creative decisions. It's that energy that you're putting into producing those TV shows, because everyone goes, oh, that's just Favreau and Filoni. She's the one that's got to okay all their stuff.
Yeah, she's in charge.
You got to give her that credit there as the producer, but you also got to say, why is everything falling apart in film? Like, everything always falls apart in film.
I honestly, do you think because more money's on the line?
That's certainly an aspect.
100%. The amount of money that's on the line for a film. And how easily film opening weekend, you just
like that.
Gone.
Dude, I look at it, that's the thing. When you look at, I've said this many times over, if you equate it to like a sports franchise, right? Yeah. She's the manager of a championship team that has many championships.
Yeah.
Whether you like the season or not that she won it in, and if you dislike the team she won it when, she won a title with The Last Jedi. She won a title with Rise of Skywalker. She won a title with all. The only one she lost and came in last place or didn't come in first was Solo.
And even that, not a bad film.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But
not a stinker.
You know, but the point was that all those movies,
she's had hit
whether
after
you
hit.
hate Rise of Skywalker, they're making money. The problem is that you have to also look at, going back to the sports equation, of how the manager manages the team.
Right.
Eventually, that luck will run out because the fans of the team are going to stop buying tickets. Because it's still Star Wars, and that's the thing. But when it's like, okay, I was excited about Patty Jenkins, and she's gone. And then am I going to, because to people's credit, I understand why they wrote this. When I did the little news bit about Chloe Zhao coming in, they're like, yeah, but she's going to be attached, and then she's going to go.
Okay.
Because how could you tell them, no, this one's going to stick around? Maybe because it's Feige this time doing it? I don't know.
I just seeing her talk about Feige, and there is no Eternals 2 planned, and that was a very big that they made a point to say that.
Right.
Like Feige even said, I think about this story. There's no point.
There's rumors of a TV show now.
I mean, granted, everyone signed for 3 contracts and whatnot, but they do it with everyone. Yeah, but there's no. We're going to get going on this thing right away.
Right.
And the story was told. We don't need to.
Right.
I mean, someone made a joke. It's kind of like, well, it defeats the point of the Eternals. They don't want to keep doing this life of.
Right.
They want to have normal lives, and we're going to keep prolonging their life. It's like, okay, so maybe she is, but maybe, and like you've never heard anyone talk bad about Feige. Anyone that's ever worked with him, no one's come like, it was a shit experience.
Right.
I had to this, and this. It's like everyone loves working with him. The guy's a creatives director. He gets it. So I think maybe they want to continue their relationship. They move into this. I mean,
maybe. I mean, it just depends.
She cut her chops, and didn't she say she met with and went to the set of Dune to get the feel of how to work?
Chloe Zhao?
Yeah, I think they did. So I think dipping that in, her feet in that, she's like, yeah, I like this.
It makes all the sense in the world if that's the case, especially if it's High Republic or Old Republic, because someone was trying because someone was tweeting at me like, oh, it's just gonna be like Ryan Johnson all over again, just because this independent filmmaker doing their own thing. Here's the difference. The difference is that what Ryan Johnson had the burden of too was having everyone get excited about his version of Luke, right? Because whether you loved it or hated it, it's a character that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
You're talking about if it is High Republic or Old Republic, these are characters she gets to establish.
Yeah.
She gets this very same with like Eternals. There are people who read the comic book and knew the characters. I didn't know who the hell any of these people were.
I knew of the comic, and I still was like,
I knew nothing. Yeah,
go do what you want with these guys.
I had no expectations of like what I like.
Right.
Perfect example is like Spider-Man. We're doing the Spider-Man rewatches.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, Garfield, and Tobey Maguire. They all had to meet your expectations of what you remembered Spider-Man from.
What your head is. Spider-Man.
Whether Spider-Man was in the comic books, whether he was in the TV show, the humor, like all that type of stuff. You can debate for years who had the wit as Spider-Man. Was it Garfield? Was it Maguire? Was it Holland? There's none of that with this, because it's like this is a brand new character named whoever.
I think that's part of the reason Mando works so well.
Yes.
We're not going
100%.
in with a preconceived notion of a Boba Fett type, Boba Fett.
Right.
Like they created this new character, and you fell in love with him.
That's exactly why it works.
So go for it.
And that's when you sprinkle in the characters that you are familiar with, like a Boba Fett or Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
It's already been established. You care enough. They didn't. If they would have relied on Luke Skywalker in like episode 2 of season 1, that's a problem. That means you don't trust your character enough that you need Luke.
Right.
This is like 18 episodes in or whatever it was. And then it made sense to the story of it. And that's what you can do.
Everyone lost their mind because it was the Luke, what we think of as Luke in that time frame.
It was the Luke that you were, if you didn't like Last Jedi, it was the Luke that you were bummed that you didn't get to see.
Right.
And that's what worked there, but it also made sense. It wasn't like fan service of like, hey, you know what? We're putting Luke in here because you guys didn't like the Ryan Johnson. I was like, no, because he is the Jedi that would sense
that would be the
Grogu
guy
at this time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Chloe Zhao would have the opportunity to do and not attach to anyone, but it does actually push me off into the Boba Fett series again.
Yeah.
Because there's also rumors that there's going to be some characters that show up in that series
that we've seen before.
It could.
Okay.
Why? So why couldn't at that point? Why couldn't Han Solo show up in that series 5 years later? Boba Fett's back. Why couldn't Leia?
Why couldn't Alden Ehrenreich in there?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I mean, if it was me, what I would do, I would get Anthony and Gruber, and I would deep fake Harrison Ford's face on him.
I'm curious, because there's this renaissance or this renaissance for Hayden Christensen now. He got a lot of flack. He got a lot of crap. But he's a good actor.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy helped the love for him, though, too.
Yeah. So I'm curious if anywhere down the line,
yeah,
Alden will get some re-love.
Yeah, and what I mean by that...
Because he's not bad. He's just not Han Solo.
Right. What I mean by that because...
But you do the
sequel trilogy...
Anthony Gruber, whatever his name is.
No, but I'm saying the sequel trilogy, the reason why it got Hayden love, because the prequels, when Force Awakens came out, people don't remember this. At Star Wars Celebration, when you went to Anaheim, you couldn't find prequel stuff anywhere.
Merchandise.
Memorabilia.
Really?
Dude, I mean, maybe buried somewhere. I remember talking to Ken. We're walking around, like, there's no prequel stuff here.
Wow.
And there's even that one line.
And that's the build. And now we're at the point in time where the build up, the fever for Force Awakens is just.
It was when that trailer.
Nuts.
That's it. And there was, I remember talking to Ken and saying, "It's weird. There's nothing there." And then they had that line that Max von Sydow says, where he goes, "This will make everything right."
Yeah.
How quickly things change, because within. That was 2015.
Yep.
After 2017, when Last Jedi comes out, then people are starting to say, the prequels at least did this. And then by the time Rise of Skywalker, the prequels are starting to become beloved.
Yeah.
And look, myself included, I've found a new love for the prequels. I was at a point where I couldn't. It was hard for me to watch. I'll tell you right now, and I already know when we're doing our ranking system, and people be prepared for it now, because after we're done with Rise of Skywalker,
we gotta rank them.
We're doing a full episode on our rankings, but in how we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The movies, I'm definitely putting Attack of the Clones over Last Jedi. There's no doubt.
Okay.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
As far as not as far as better film.
Better
goes,
film. It's
but
just
as far
our
as
enjoyment.
If you told me you only get to watch one of these movies right now, you can only watch one, I'd watch Attack of the Clones.
Over the two of them.
Over The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
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 I wouldn't doubt it. Like, for me, I've said it, and I'll keep saying it. Phantom Menace has had gotten this re-love for me. I enjoy the hell out of Phantom Menace. I really do.
Yeah. So, and it's funny how the prequels
me.
just like have gotten this love now that, and if it used to be like after Force Awakens, you would say, and you heard it all the time, the original trilogy is number one, then the Force Awakens, and then the prequels.
Yeah.
Now, it is and it could, and this goes depending on generation.
Yeah.
Some people put prequels over OT.
Right? I sure do.
Mostly though, I would say majority is original trilogy, prequels, and then the new trilogy. It's very rare you're going to hear people put new trilogy second.
I don't know anyone that's
or even
the
first.
Sequel.
Yeah.
The sequel trilogy.
No, because even the people who love Last Jedi and love Force Awakens, they don't like the last one. So you can't all three of them don't match up. At least because it's always about finishing strong. Yeah. Always, right? And even like I would prefer to watch Rise of Skywalker than Last Jedi, but I would too. But I can still admit that it's just an empty movie. It's an empty film. But it doesn't close strong because the whole thing doesn't tie up together. Like the prequels, they tie together. They all tie together. It starts with this kid, whether or not you think he should be a little kid or not. Starts with this young kid, ends with his fall on Mustafar. It links together.
You're preaching to the choir here.
No, I know. So anyway, that's speaking of which, Rise of Skywalker is next week. We are going to be reviewing that. So basically, the way the Sith Council will work moving forward is we're going to do Rise of Skywalker next week, and then we will get into like news and other things that are coming out and kind of break down, similar to what we did here on this episode today. And then we'll get into Book of Boba Fett starting in December. After that, depending on when the next series is, I wouldn't mind doing a Mandalorian kind of rewatch.
Okay, I'd love to do that. Yeah,
like to do episode by episode all the way through, because I don't need to do a full show. Jedi Council was just covering news and stuff, and that was good for when it was. I don't want to always do that. I don't want to just go through and say, "Oh, this is the comic book." There's other shows that do that, and that's great. I just want to talk about anything that can get our conversation going about things we're excited about leading into something, and then we'll watch Boba Fett. That'll probably take us into February, March, and we might not even have much time to watch.
Well, we would have known if we got something today. we would have been able to tell you guys what our plan was for next year.
But we don't. But what we do know is that you guys have been so kind watching us on Sith Council. Please go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that these are shown, and especially Apple Podcasts. Please rate, review us, do all that. It's very important. And then after that, man, YouTube, hit those comments. I respond to all of them. I think YouTube, it's very important. I think YouTube has lost the community side of things, and I've been going through all of the comments, responding to all you guys. So please go ahead and comment. I will write you back. And then that's it. Steph will be back next week. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back for Rise of Skywalker. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the flip sides.
On the flip side.
Homie.
I can